While we were still at Anaheim, Sarah Carippo of the FMCA Four-Wheelers contacted me about doing a fire extinguisher demonstration. We were at the Havasu rally in March. I told her that I would do it. At first I thought I would do a PowerPoint-like presentation. That rapidly digressed into doing a video instead. I had almost 2 whole months to put it together. How tough could it be? It wasn't like we had anything else to do, like visiting friends in Canyon Lake, or wheeling at the Parker FMCA gathering, or wheeling with another set of friends in Kingman. It was time to move on to Canyon Lake to visit our friends there. I started shooting video for the fire extinguisher presentation. I had some great first takes, like this one, wearing the oldest trash jacket that I could find and also ensuring the properly framed shot. This one actually had merit for the production, but I could not help drawing the reference to Jack while I was editing. Here's Sammy! One of the evenings, our friends treated us to our favorite pizza. Can anyone guess where that was? Anne was able to get a baby fix with our friend's granddaughter. Hard to believe that we are that old. I really love this shot of Anne and baby Sophie. And of course, she needed a dog fix. The days at Canyon Lake flew by and it was time to move on to Laughlin, Nevada. Puma and Patches were totally excited. And work on the video continued. Whenever possible, you want to have an exterior water source off the... Easier said than done, isn't it? While we're out in our RVs, we often take on risk-laden... After 3 days in Laughlin, it was time for the Parker FMCA Four-Wheelers gathering. The meeting site was a boondocking location east of town. The first day of trail running, we ran a cool little trail called Cattail Cove Bowling Alley. Madam Jeep member commandeered the wheel for some drive time before lunch. Very nice. Thanks to Dale Bixler for leading the Cattail Cove Trail. Very nice. With the overabundance of rain this year, the wildflowers were out early. Puma was out exploring the neighborhood. The next day we ran a trail called the Oregon Trail. Interestingly enough, the trail is on the California side of the Colorado River. We ran a challenging slotted section that caused the 4-doors to back and fill to make the corner. Then it was on to an area called the Oasis. We are told that water runs in this area year-round. There were many palm trees in this little canyon that would show the evidence of the constant water availability. In the afternoon, we visited an area where the rocks have been arranged as rock art. Madam Rock Art member crafted the best art of the day. Of course, I'm just a bit biased. During an off day, work continued on the video, and the guy with no head showed up on the set again, there in Parker. Their rig. So what we have in ours is a 2.5 gallon water extinguisher, pressurized water extinguisher.
The hummingbird, the hummingbird came down. It was like right on the camera. It was like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I was trying not to say that. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's it. I think that's all I need. Our friends Dave and Kim Noel from Noel's Blessed Adventures on Facebook stopped by to help with the shoot. However, in the director's infinite wisdom, he managed to capture the setup on both sides of the actual take, but managed not to capture the take on the camera. So unfortunately, the sequence with the Knowles ended up on the cutting room floor. Nice. And this was my favorite of the multiple interruptions that occurred during the shoots. As to whether... So, the next day we ran Adventure Canyon Trail. Adventure Canyon is rated 4.0 out of 5.0 on the scale. It has several narrow sections and waterfalls. It was challenging enough to run it in the downhill direction. I'm sure that we would have had to use the winch if we'd had to run it uphill. We didn't get too many pictures of our rig. However, you can get an idea how tight the canyon was from the videos of our friend Danny Shelton running with a rig similar to ours. Yeah, maybe it does. Ooh. It isn't contact till it's contact, is it?
The other passenger. There you go. All right. Yeah, I think it's a little more.
Thanks to our trail guide that day, Dennis Zuliger. On the way back, we saw this classic scrambler on the road. And of course, Madam Animal Lover needed to get her dog fix. The Boston is the Bradley's puppy, Abby. And the Shepherd is C2. She is Danny Shelton's dog. Some of the folks played campfire Jenga with the wood prior to burning it. The last trail day, we went on a trail called Dynamite. There was a really cool cave that had an approach angle that worked for several of us to be able to drive up inside. Some of the local trail toll collectors at work, the animal lovers of the group, gladly paid the tolls in the form of cookies. And in my twisted mind, this popped in.
The Panamanian Thruway? Now what'll that think of next?
Then it was on to lunch at the river. And unbeknownst to us, this would be one of the last trail rides that we would have with Bill and Bobby Novell. They since have sold their motorhome and Jeep and have given up the lifestyle. There was a cool slot to work on the way back. Thanks to our trail guide on this day, Dave and Beverly Hess. Then, as has been the case most places we have been, it was over too quickly and it was time to move the party to Kingman. The weather was colder in Kingman. This stop was a gathering of some of our usual Moab wheeling friends. While we waited for John and Barb and Mark to arrive, Randy and Mary, Leland and Diane, and we had to go four-wheeling. Since none of us had wheeled there previously, we just picked a trail that looked challenging. I would say that we got our money's worth on that score. We did not get a particularly early start, and the trail was about 40 miles long. Additionally, it ascended in elevation. Around noontime, we reached the Copper World mine. It was snowing, and we stopped for lunch. After lunch, the trail ascended higher in elevation. It started getting late, and the trail was getting dicey. We decided to find a shortcut out. We went down a narrow trail which almost immediately deteriorated into a dangerous side slope. When I tried to back out, I could not get any meaningful traction. Everything that I did made the situation worse. We were within less than inches of dumping the Jeep over the side of the trail. Randy came down the trail to winch us back up. Even with the winch hooked up, it was a very tenuous situation. Ultimately, Randy got stuck at his winch spot and had to be winched up by Leland, who was last in line. After what seemed to be a lifetime, we were all back up on safe ground with no physical damage done. We lived to fight another day, and the Jeep started the formation of her name, Kitty. She had used up the first of her 9 lives on that day. Reflecting back on it, the move to try to go down an off-camber shelf road in the snow was a really bad idea. The psychological part of the experience made me physically sick 2 days later and had me lashing out at my friends for what had been my own bad choice. With another round of impending weather threatening the area and wanting to put the bad experience behind us, we decided to leave Kingman earlier than was originally planned. It turned out to have been a good idea. The predicted 8 inches of snow turned into 20 inches. Sometimes it's better to just be plain lucky than good. It was on to Lake Havasu for the four-wheelers rally there and a new set of experiences. Until next time, stay safe out there and happy trails.